Hey, it's Dr. Darren Schmidt. So I've been focusing on nutrition for my whole career. I started nutrition in 1998 and I started studying it in 1994. I call it hardcore holistic nutrition. And every year I get better and better results because I keep studying. And I want to show you this roadmap to health. I did this video about 4 months ago, but I'm updating it. So here we have 5 phases. And now the US government will not allow the company that made this protocol to use certain words. They can't use the word chelator, which means heavy metal detoxifier. They can't use the word parasites. They can't name organisms. They can only call them immune challenges. We're going to go through these 5 phases, but this first one is 1 month long. I have 3 slides I'm going to show you, and you'll get more details as you watch this video. So make sure you watch all the way through. So if you're chronically ill, if you have long-term chronic illness for many years, this is the kind of protocol that is valuable to you, and I want to make sure you understand the length of time it takes to get better. Now, I've had people go through this already, and in 2 months they're into phase 5 already. But other people may take 11 months or 8 months to get into phase 5. So it just depends on how your body responds and how long you've been sick, and then of course how good your diet is. Now you can have a really good diet and still have a sick body because you have other factors going on, and I'm going to go over those right here. So the diet is one thing, and then removing toxins and killing organisms that have been living in your body chronically for a long time, that's the other thing. So phase 1 means energy. It says energy and drainage, and the energy means increase in your mitochondrial energy. So the mitochondria make ATP, that's energy, and there are a few supplements from this company that is called Cellcore Biosciences. And so they have the best supplements that I've seen for increasing mitochondrial function. I have other supplements from other companies that do a good job too, but these from this company work really well. Now, drainage means cleaning out or making sure that your body can clean itself out. And we're talking about the natural pathways of the kidney, liver, lymphatic system, sinuses, skin, lungs. So let's talk about that right now. All right, this graphic shows you the cascade of drainage, and there's the first and most important system that needs to be working well for cleaning the body naturally is the colon, and that's down here at the bottom of this graphic. And there are, as long as you're not constipated, you're able to get junk out of your body, then you're good. And you may rely on teas or herbs or supplements or whatever it takes to make sure your bowels keep working as we improve the health of your body. The next one is liver and bile ducts. So liver supplements and herbs to make sure that the liver is making bile, cleaning itself out. There's herbs like milk thistle. This company, Cellcore, has a product called Tutka Plus. They also have one called Kidney Liver Support. The next one is lymphatic system. So people, sometimes they have congestion underneath their armpits or maybe underneath their chin. That's the lymph nodes that are getting bigger, and it feels like they're taking up space. Sometimes people have rosacea. That's your spleen. The spleen is down here underneath the left rib cage at the bottom of the rib cage. And just think of the spleen as the largest lymphatic organ in the body. You got lymph nodes that are part of the lymph vessels that are throughout your abdomen and here and here. But the spleen can be a problem too. It's all related to the lymphatic system. And that's where most of your immune system is. That's where the white blood cells hang out and they do their work, and they clean out the lymphatic fluid, which then gets dumped straight into your aorta, straight into the blood. So you want your lymphatic system to be as clean as possible, because if it's dirty and it goes into your blood, now your blood is dirty, and now you're feeding toxins into your organs. The next one is organs and tissues. So this is where the organs are able to clean themselves out. So you can have specific toxicity maybe in the kidneys. They're kind of fragile, if you will, and if you're toxic from your job or exposures or cleaning materials, you want to make sure that your organs work well, and there are specific supplements for that. There's plenty of supplements to help out specific organs. And there's no drugs to do this. You got to do it with supplements. There's just, in the drug world, it just doesn't exist. And the last one is cells. So the cells have to be able to make enough energy to clean themselves out. The energy comes from mitochondria. The energy is called ATP. And if your energy in your cells is low and the toxins are here, that's a problem. So you can detoxify with things that grab the toxins out and remove them, but you still have like low energy in your cells. So you want to make sure the energy of the cells comes up, and now they can detoxify on their own. Okay, so I'm a fan of both um, detoxing the body, like with binders and chelators that remove the toxins for the body. And I'm a fan of increasing the energy of the cells and making sure that the cells have proper detoxification pathways biochemically occurring on the inside. So we do it both ways. So that's the drainage pathways of the various organs in order, starting with colon and ending with the cells themselves. So now I want to show you this protocol timeline. We just talked about phase 1, energy and drainage, and that's here on the far left. That's this orange phase 1, month 1. Now when you take supplements that are getting the drainage pathways open, you take them through the whole 11-month program. Now, like I said earlier, for you it might be 5 months, for other people it might be 2 years. It just depends on how things go. So there's phase 1. So phase 2 says gut and immune support. Now they can't say parasites, so I'm going to say it for you. This is parasites in the intestines most specifically, and they have 2 products that are really good called Para 1 and Para 2. I also have other products from other companies. The point is, you got to clean out your gut, and there's a quote at the top of this: all disease begins in the gut, from Hippocrates. And it's a good thing to say and do to make sure that your gut is clean and get the parasites out. 90% of Americans have parasites in their body. Back to this timeline, phase 2 here is 2 months. When you take these supplements called Para 1 and 2, let's say you get some parasites out or some ropeworms or mucus, mucoid plaques. Let's say they come out in the first couple weeks and then nothing left for the next 6 weeks. That's fantastic. You just got cleaned out. Now, some people I've had, they didn't get out their first parasite for the first 6 weeks, right? They took these supplements for 6 weeks and then they got out some kind of a worm, maybe 1 inch long or maybe even 3 feet long. That means they need to stay on these supplements for another, you should be able to go about 2 months or at least 6 weeks with no new parasites coming out, no new mucus coming out. I have several patients, they've been on Para 1 and 2 for 2 years and more, eliminating parasites the whole time, every day. And as time goes on, it's less and less and less. And so that's phase 2. It's a minimum 2 months of getting rid of parasites out of your intestines. Now we're in phase 3. I'll draw a box around it. So it says whole body immune support. That's the legal way of saying take their supplement called Para 3. It is fantastic. It gets parasites out of your sinuses, brain, fingers, all the small spaces throughout your body. So that, like I said, Para 1 and 2 is for the intestines. Para 3 is for everything else. So I personally figured out parasites back in 2007. I've had patients eliminate parasites since 2001. And when I figured out parasites in 2007, I went on my own program, started eliminating some parasites. I got rid of about 12 parasites in 13 years. And I swim in a lake, a freshwater lake in Michigan every summer. I'm going to keep swimming in it. That's probably where I get the parasites from. But when I started their supplement called Para 3, I got 12 parasites out in 2 weeks. So it's a whole new level of cleansing in the body. And that's why they say right here, whole body immune support. And you can see the graphic that you got that guy holding 2 arms up like this. So that's phase 3. Here's phase 3 in this timeline. It's the 2 purple boxes, and it's 2 months. So we got 2 more months of parasite killing with their product called Para 3. And now this needs to be catered to you and how your body is responding. Everybody goes through this program differently, and we help people along with our knowledge and our vast experience with thousands of other patients. We know how to help you through this efficiently and as quickly as possible, but also at the speed that your body needs it to be. So maybe not too fast. We got to go as fast as we can, but not too fast so that your body can't handle it. The next one is phase 4. It's right here. It says systemic detox. And it says at the top, remove harmful elements. So what does that mean? It means chelate. That's an illegal word, but I'm saying it anyways. Chelate means claw. It means it grabs on the toxins. Here's a toxin. And the chelators grab onto it and drag it out of the body. And you can call them binders. And the best ones in science are fulvic acid and humic acid. Those are better than cilantro, and they're better than green drinks and algae, brown algae, green algae, better than charcoal. Charcoal is not quite a good fulvic acid or humic acid. But the point is, you want to get rid of heavy metals and chemicals and radioactive elements. And so we're discovering how pervasive radioactive elements are. I just saw an article today that the gas lamp era of Chicago, a long time ago, where they lit lights with flames along the streets, has left a radioactive thorium across the city and in the water. To this day, it still persists. Half of Americans are drinking radium in their water, in their drinking water. It's in high levels for half of Americans and 80% of Texans. You're drinking it in your municipal water. And we have fracking. So they inject fluid into the earth and they fracture a stone and they pull out the natural gas. But they have to pull that water back out. Now it's called brine, and it's radioactive, and it gets shipped across to another location. It gets injected back in. That's a pervasive radioactive source right there. And there is 3 Mile Island. There's Chernobyl. There's Fukushima. And that still persists radioactively. So we want to get that out too. It's not just heavy metals. It's not just chemicals, but it's that too. So on this timeline, the removing of the radioactive elements and heavy metals and chemicals is 5 months long. This is a general rule of thumb. Now you might still be kicking out parasites, and you're definitely on the phase 1 drainage products too. Maybe you still need some energy support for your mitochondria, but to detox, it's at least 5 months. Now, if you have lead in your bones, for example, there's urine tests you can do to find if you have lead. I mean, you might be doing this for 5 years. And if you have a history, one of my patients grew up 3 miles away from Monsanto, a chemical factory in Wyandotte, Michigan. And when their family drove by it, they had to cover their face because it smelled so bad. The air just was so toxic and polluted. And so that's been a major factor in her health her whole life. So these are factors that we have to get rid of. And maybe you're on the heavy metal detox for 5 months. Maybe you're on it for 2 years. We just have to monitor it and see how it goes. The last phase, phase 5, is called deeper immune support. What this means is you're killing organisms that are deep inside your body from head to toe, and you get very specific, such as Lyme, or you can go after fungus, mold, otherwise known as yeast or candida. You can go after, for example, specific viruses, maybe Epstein-Barr. Or just think of it this way. If you're loaded up with a lot of bugs or immune challenges, maybe it's not the problem of having bugs. Maybe it's weak immune system or toxicity. But you've covered those with phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to go after these bugs individually with some fantastic herbal supplements. I have a huge arsenal, and these herbs and other supplements never cause antibiotic resistance because they're not antibiotics. They're not drugs. The problem with these drugs for chronic illness in various people is that it's one chemical in a high dose. So here's this bug, and then here's the chemical. So the chemical kills the bug, right? Like this. But there's other bugs. It's not just this one bug here, but there's this one and 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 this one. So you have this one chemical killing one section of that population of the bugs, and you have all these other ones that survive and they become stronger. But when you have herbs, here's your collection of organisms with various expressions of their DNA, and here's your herb, and it matches like this, and it kills a broader spectrum of these organisms. So what I'm saying, could be illegal. FDA, bureaucratic, red tape, illegal, but it's truth. That's the way Mother Nature works. Their herbs are broad spectrum, and they have crossover. You can have an herb that kills Lyme and virus. You can have an herb that kills fungus and bacteria. See? So, and the other thing, going back to phase 2 and 3, parasites have fungus in them or on them. Parasites can harbor heavy metals, and parasites can have viruses and bacteria. That's why parasites are so important to get rid of in phase 2 and 3. But you can't do that until your immune system is strong and your DNA, your mitochondria are making a lot of energy and your drainage channels are open. So it's put together very nicely, phase 1 through 5, in order that makes sense when you look at it and how to heal the human body. All right, back to this graph. Now, phase 5 is at the same time as phase 4. It's down here. I just put a box around it. Now, in this phase 5, you're using supplements like these are called IS-BOR, IS-BART. We have them available. They're made by Cellcore. And if you were to talk to me on the phone, I might give you those and others too, depending on your history. Like if you grew up in a moldy house, or you had some kind of a mold exposure, or you have lab tests that show multiple viruses. So this just gives you a general idea as to how we tackle this. Now, if you have a history of parasites, and during your parasite phases, you got rid of a lot of stuff, here's the full moon protocol down here. See that? So that's a specific way to kill parasites around the full moon. So we have one full moon per month in general, and that's when parasites have parties. They set up bonfires in their backyard, in your body, and they're dancing around the fire, listening to music, and they're making babies. And those babies hatch during the full moon. Parasites love the full moon. So at that time, that's when you can take more para 1 and 2 in a higher dose for about 5 days or maybe 7 days. And right in the middle of that time frame is the full moon. So that's the full moon protocol. So keep in mind, I've been studying nutrition since 1994, and I keep growing and accelerating. And around me, I have people that are smarter than me, and I learn from them, and they have more clinical experience, and maybe they've been sick and they had to recover from Lyme, and they've eliminated 3-foot tapeworms. And I've never had Lyme. I've had the parasites. I've had the black mold. I've never really been toxic with heavy metals. I've had some chemical exposure when I worked on the family farm. But there are people that have way more sickness than I have, and they're in the holistic healthcare field, and they're developing their own supplements and their own protocols. And so I love going to seminars. I learn from these people, and I bring them to you so that you can have your health too. And if you go to a conventional doctor, you go to the hospital, and they end up giving you a drug. And how does a poisonous drug help you improve your health? They can save your life. They can kill bacteria, infections, etc. But the way that you improve your health is by using the tools that Mother Nature has provided to you. Your body's made from Mother Nature. So use Mother Nature's tools to fix it. It's like if you have a car and the tire goes flat, you're not going to take your car to the bike shop. Bicycles have tires, but they don't fit. Right? Same thing with your body. Your body's Mother Nature, and you get sick. You take it to the people that work with Mother Nature to get it better over time, like for chronic illness and recovering your health. Don't expect your medical doctor to help you recover your health and improve your health. That's not their job. We have 1 million medical doctors in the United States. Their job is not to help you improve your health. Their job is to save your life. And you go from visit to visit, and your health gets worse and worse, and they prop you up with the next drug. They prop you up with the next surgery. In the meantime, they are hoping and wishing and praying that you go see a holistic doctor. They're hoping that you learn how to eat a good diet. They're hoping that you take supplements, because when you go back to them and say, hey, I've been doing healthy things, now I'm better, they should say, great, let's see if we can reduce your medications. Let's see if we can take you off medications, because they don't like to see you suffer. They want you to get better, even though they may argue against supplements and say it's a waste of money or it's expensive urine. Deep down inside, they want you to get better, and they know that their drugs are not the solution for it. But like I said, their job is to save your life. And if you're diabetic and you're on insulin, the insulin is saving your life every day. So keep that in mind about your relationship with your medical doctor, the druggist, and the holistic doctor who's working with herbs and supplements and diet. There's a lot of detail here, and you want it to be catered to you. So you can call us up. You can become a patient. We can walk you through this. Make sure you have this time frame in mind as we go through it, and we discuss like how fast or slow we need to go. So you can contact the office. We respond really well with phone. You can also do email, but the phone is best. I'll put that at the bottom of this video and at the end of this video too.